gunshots.
And there was hundreds of rounds that were fired. We prayed that none of our officers were hit.
Fire. One person dead.
There could have certainly been a lot more, and we're thankful there weren't.
Tonight, team coverage of the standoff and gun battle that Providence's public safety commissioner says was unlike anything he'd seen in decades. What we've learned about the suspect, his history of mental health issues, and the firepower police say he had at his disposal.
A Providence neighborhood in the shadow of the State House dome has been filled with investigators all day following this morning's dramatic events. I'm Mike Montecalvo.
And I'm Shannon Heggie. The standoff unfolded live on 12 News this morning. The location, an apartment building on Denison Street off of Branch Avenue. The questions remaining tonight, plenty. We have live team coverage of what we know. Target 12 investigator Tim White and 12 News reporter Chelsea Jones are standing by.
First 12 News reporter Brittany Schaefer joins us now live from Providence with the very latest on the investigation. Brittany?
Well, Mike, Shannon, Public Safety Commissioner Stephen Paré says in his 40 years, he has never seen anything like this. Hundreds of rounds were shot at both Providence and state police at a home down Denison Street here, which has now been reopened, this area to traffic, and now an extensive investigation is underway. The sound of rapid gunfire echoes across this Providence neighborhood. 12 News live on air during the chaotic standoff.
You can hear gunshots right now still going off. They had tweeted out that there was believed to be a lone gunman in a home and they were evacuating this area. I'm going to step out of the way. You can still hear lots of shots fired.
The early morning incident started as a domestic assault.
He had a son and a daughter. He assaulted both of them.
But the violence didn't stop there. Public Safety Commissioner Stephen Paré says police got the suspect's children and grandchildren out of the home, but say 61-year-old Scott McLean did not cooperate.
Then he barricaded himself in. We're trying to open lines of communication with him. We weren't successful.
After several hours of failed attempts, police threw pepper gas into the home to try and locate McLean due to a major concern about what was in the house.
15 guns in the house, along with some rifles, so that was a great concern.
McLean soon used the weapons, firing hundreds of rounds at officers who were in close proximity.
I've never seen shots like we have seen at police officers for that period of time, and we prayed that none of our officers were hit.
It's a minor miracle that no one on our police side or the fire side was hit today. There are a lot of rounds exchanged.
Thankfully, Paré says due to training and luck, his prayers were answered. The incident didn't stop there.
The back bedroom that we knew he was in, engulfed in flames. We knocked the fire down from the exterior. We were able to get in, and he is deceased.
And Paré says the 61-year-old did have a mental health history, but no criminal history. Now, the dangerous situation causing most of this area to be evacuated earlier today, but now has since reopened. Now let's check in with 12 News reporter Chelsea Jones, who has more with neighbor reaction. Chelsea.
Brittany, with the road being back open, there's this quietness, if you will, of only traffic that fills the air, much different than what we've watched unfold on TV this morning. Here's how neighbors in this community are feeling. Calls by the Providence Police Special Response Unit for Scott McLean to come out of his home with his hands up. He didn't come out. Instead, the alarm clock people in this Providence neighborhood woke up to hundreds of rounds.
I seen a police officer running down the street, and they were just still shooting.
Shots fired at police, then flames billowing in the early morning sky. Shirley Rivera's Ring camera caught the gunfire, and as I watched it back with another resident, it brought her to tears.
It was nerve-wracking. I have a 12-year-old daughter, and My first instinct was just to hit the floor.
Erin Grady said she moved here after living in rough neighborhoods, even being shot herself. But even after all that unfolded, she says she still feels safe here.
Police did an amazing job. I mean, they moved right in. They were assuring us from the windows to stay down, that we're safe, that we have the situation under control.
I've talked to police. It's still unclear at this time how McLean died, but that will be up to the medical examiner's office to determine. Live in Providence, I'm Chelsea Jones, 12 News.